Hello, good 2024. Welcome back to the channel. Now this video I've been wanting to do for a while. This was one of my funnest projects of 2024. I'm going to walk you through it. This one is my travel guitar. Ooh, you're like, what the hell is that? Yes, what the hell is it? Because if you're familiar with the travel guitar selection, the availability out there, this almost looks like a Traveler guitar, Traveler brand guitar. And in fact, it is. It's one of their earliest pro models that I modded the hell out of to get 3 pickups, completely remove the weird bridge system that they had going on. I'm going to pop a photo up on the screen to show you what I'm talking about. Like, you can see right at the bottom of that guitar, there's a wrap around kind of string thing, and then the tuners are on the back of the guitar with these weird hole kind of tuning systems. Yeah, this isn't that. That was a very tedious tuning system, so I replaced the bridge on it with this new funky new bridge that I love to death. I routed out some sections in here, I filled in some wood, and I'm going to open it up and I'm going to walk you through exactly what I did. First things first, I went and bought a blank pickguard because we got to fit it on, and I used an old pickguard to kind of find the holes, and then I used the first hole from the original Traveler pickup location to line up the other two. So basically, I took an old pickguard, I kind of circled spots on this large blank sheet. I basically put it over top of where this one was, lined it up properly to create these two here. And then I used a Dremel tool to route it out. There we have our pickup. But if you look on the back side here, it's going to tell you the whole story. Let me go to overhead camera. I'll walk you through. Now this thing also features a 5 selection switch and your 2 tone knobs and your volume, which is kind of cool. Now the first mods I did to this wasn't that, it was actually this thing in the bottom. And to get this thing, tuning heads, some old Fender tuning heads have these kind of like holes in them where that slot through. I basically took 2 of those, I drilled holes, I popped those guys in. I took some wire and some surgical tubing and some shrink tubing, and I crafted a little leg rest that is just wider than the 2 holes, so that you kind of have to squeeze it in, which holds it in. And it's a really effective small leg rest, small footprint leg rest. The original leg rest that came to this, and some of you will know, basically mounted onto here, and it was clunky, and you had to screw and unscrew. You can see one of the mounting screws here for it, which I kept. And another mod that I did was I put a strap button right here, because the original strap button was down here. Yeah, and it was awkward because it made it tip forward. Weird. So that's a couple other things. So turning it over, opening this thing up, it's going to tell the real story. You can see I've kind of covered here, and you can kind of see little blocks of wood here that I filled in the original tuning cavities with. And the reason I did that is because I had to route 2 new holes, which would have affected the structural integrity of this whole thing, even though these things screw in. But I wanted to be able to pull this thing out, do all this thing. So this piece comes off. Inside here is the input cavity. Inside here is where all the electronics are. So let's open it up, so I can show you actuality what it is. And this all these pieces here came from that single blank pickguard, that pickguard blank that I got. Okay, you can see Inside here, 5 selector switch. Now, if you look inside here, you can see it's not the cleanest job, but it does the job. So these holes right here were where the original tuning keys were. So if you can imagine, the tuning keys came through here, the strings came around back, wrapped around them, and it came all the way around the backside here where this weird, I don't know, it was like some dowel or something, fed them around. So the tuning stability on this wasn't the greatest. It stayed in tune, but to tune it up and tune it down was just a pain in the ass. So I had to get rid of that. And getting rid of that opened up this space to put all the electronics in. Now if we can dig deep a little lower, you can see there's pickup cavity that I had to route out. Pickup cavity here that I had to route out. And you can see it's not the cleanest job. It's like a little chewed up in there. That's because I did it all with hand tools. I basically did it with a drill, and then I took a Dremel to kind of smooth it out. And then the original pickup location sits right here. Now also, underneath here, there was this kind of, the original Traveler came with kind of like a stethoscope kind of weird thing that I had to fill in with more, which is located under here. You can almost kind of see it. I had to fill that in as well because the new bridge, there we go. You see that hole? That used to be like a cavity where a kind of a stethoscope type of thing that allowed you to hear, because this was a hybrid acoustic and electric guitar with 1 electric pickup that I wanted 3. You can see the new bridge, but the new bridge had to sit in wood and not that thin piece because there was a whole cavity here, so I had to fill that part in. I had to fill in this area here and similar up top. Now I covered it here because the pickup cavities kind of extend out. I wanted to cover it from dust and stuff. I might color this all in, doesn't matter. It sits on the back side. But you can see all the electronics are in place. The 5-way pickup switch. I basically routed out the area between 2 of the tuning holes there. It's thick enough to just slot that through the top. Obviously we have our pots here, and these pot knobs have to be this size, these small guys. I'll link them in the description below because there has to be enough clearance for this. Let me go take one of these. There has to be enough clearance, and if you see, there's just enough clearance for the input to come in. Now I'm going to relocate this eventually to the back because there's enough space there. But for now, I want to make sure I was able to pop one of these guys in if need be. I really don't like that this sits on the bottom. I want to relocate it to the back here, which I'm going to do in a future project. But you can see here that everything sits nice and tightly, all compact, all nice, pretty easy. And the knobs are great as well, and it's relatively accessible. Now, the bridge. So this bridge is what made me want to execute this project. Now, these bridges, you can pick them up. I'll put a link in the description below. They're really funky. They essentially take the string and they wrap them around a coil here, which is adjusted with this thing. It's a thumb screw, and you can twist it with the thumb, no problem. Here, go up. No problem. It's pretty easy. And you just do like a little wind, and like when it comes all the way through, it slots through just like a traditional pickup. It would be nice if it was locking, but I understand why it's not. But super cool. And then you can adjust the action here and the height with these little grub screws here. It's really, really cool, and it is super stable. Now, if your thumbs can't twist it, it comes with a little cool little magnetized, if I can pull it out, little lever system here. So this thing here is simply pop it in here and you just twist it around. Goes in a circle. Pretty cool. So I go in here like that. There we go. Just slots in like that. so you don't lose it. But you can twist them with your thumb. In fact, when you're popping them in, I'm going to link a video down below on how to properly tune this thing up, because some people overwind. You really can only do a few winds in here. You can see that the area, the space in there is not a lot, but it's great nonetheless. Now to get this bridge to work, I had to plane out maybe about 1 millimeter or 2 down, because it sat way too high, the action was too high. And basically, if you can get the front part of the bridge flush with the top of the bridge, or top of the body, if you can get that flush right there, that section right there, and mine's a little high, but whatever, I might even just reduce it a little bit even more. If you can get it flush, it's perfect height, and it works really, really well. These bridges, you can buy them aftermarket, but I believe they are shipped on EART guitars, E-A-R-T. I'll put a video down below where someone looks at it on an EART guitar, which I believe is a Chinese brand, headless brand. They come with a head, but the head on this Traveler guitar works just as fine. No issues whatsoever with it. I was very impressed, and the reason I liked it is because the other ones that are available, they have these weird jutting out things that, you know, on this Traveler guitar, size doesn't matter, because the case for it, I'll switch to camera 1. The case for it is very specifically made for this guitar, and this case is tiny. In fact, when I bring it through the airport and stuff, they don't even know what it is. It looks like maybe a, I don't know, a squash racket or a lacrosse stick. I have no idea what they think it is. I usually just joke around with them because they're very curious. I've been asked more than once. But because of that, you cannot have it longer than it is. Now, this solved that problem because it put the tuning section up instead of back. Those long spiky things, I forget what they're called, but I don't like them whatsoever. This is a great solution, and it works great, especially you might have to learn how to tune it a little bit. Again, the link will be in the description below, but it works awesome. Now I'm taking you through the basics of that. I have videos of the construction of it, of me putting it together, me routing out certain sections, showing you the pieces and stuff. I don't have it before. Obviously, I mean, I have some travel videos where I'm using it and you can kind of see what it looks like. I'll also put up on the screen what the before looked like. But I can tell you right now, this thing sounds fantastic. Like any great modern Stratocaster. I mean, I haven't tuned it up in a month. I haven't tuned it in probably over a month, and it's still pretty in tune. Pretty good. These are just some sounds I've been using in the studio over the last little while. They're kind of overdriven, so that's why it sounds, but it's great, great. Sounds awesome. Compared to that weird tinny pickup that used to just, there's a really tinny, that original pickup, so that's why I put the 3 pickups in it. It's a dream guitar to take with me traveling. This is a full 24 3/4, I believe, scale length. So it's a full size scale length, 22 frets, 3 pickups, super short, basically super thin. It has a leg rest if you need it, and it's now the pickups I put in it, I bought used. The original Traveler pickup is in it, which is Alnico on some level. I don't know what it is. And these two came out of a Strat Performer, which is Alnico 5, I believe, or Alnico 2. I don't know. I can't even remember anymore. You guys can look up the specs for the middle and neck pickup for the Fender Performer Series pickups. Great pickups. They sound awesome. Like 50s, mid 50s, late 50s spec almost. Really kind of like not a lot of like pure barrel tone, not a lot of like low end, but very punchy. Like proper strat tone. So awesome, awesome guitar. I can't wait to take it on a trip with me, which is coming up soon, and maybe I'll post some videos from that. If you guys really like this video, and it'll show by the views, let me know in the comments, and I'm going to post videos of me putting it together, because even just going through this now was it's a long video, so it doesn't make sense to go through all the construction of it as well, which I have to carefully piece together because there's a lot that went into that. But super happy with it. I'm going to make some adjustments. Like I said, I'm going to probably put the output jack back here. If I can manage to kind of drill a section where that is possible, I think it is. That I might lower the bridge just a little bit more because it's just shy of being flush with the body there. I might put a treble bleed circuit in here because I do it with all my guitars, and I might even upgrade the 5-way to a freeway 10-way switch, which I put in a lot of my Strat guitars, which give me like humbucker tones and stuff. Super awesome. My super versatile guitar. It weighs next to nothing. I basically, with this case, I strap it to the side of my backpack. It sits there like that, and I've never had issues bringing it through. It's basically bomb-proof, and you could take it anywhere. And like this thing has been it's been around the world with me probably 3 or 4 times already, and in other countries, visited probably 20 countries so far. Awesome. Hope you enjoyed the video. Again, this is Traveler Guitar, my modifications, and part of the Your Gear Sucks. Trying to make your gear better, which is what the motto of this place is, or this channel is. Gear better. Hope you have a happy 2024, and if you really like this video, you'll see a part 2 to it where we go through a bit of the construction of it. See you next time.